It's WKBT's High Quiz Bowl, the varsity sport of the mind, pitting the sharpest minds of our area high schools in head-to-head competition. High Quiz Bowl is sponsored by Wholesome Bread, baked by Erickson Bakeries, the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company of La Crosse, McDonald's of La Crosse, Prairie du Chien, Toma, and Decorah, and by Viterbo College, one of Wisconsin's finest independent colleges, with grant support from the Ashley Furniture Company, Hampton Inn of La Crosse, Country Kitchens of Wisconsin, and Empire Screen Printing, Incorporated.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 31 of High Quiz Bowl. Kind of an exciting game. It's the final game of the regular season, and this evening we have two fine teams going to go at it, Richland Center and Lafarge. Now, Richland Center has an opportunity to be our final three-time winner for this season and has an opportunity to have a position in the playoffs if they get by Lafarge. Now, if Lafarge should win this game this evening, obviously, being that we don't play any more regular season games, their win would be carried over to next season, and they'd already have one win under their belt, and they play again coming up next fall, and they play for the playoffs then in '88. So that's how that works. Now, we have a big trophy at stake here. Yes, indeed, High Quiz Bowl at the end of the season. We play our big Super Bowl game between our final two teams, and they play for a big trophy, courtesy of Lucky H here in La Crosse. And who knows? It could be Lafarge, maybe next year. This year it could be Richland Center. Who knows? But we'll find out what's going to happen at the end of this game as we draw our pairings and find out how everything's going to go together. But right now we do have a game to take care of, and we're going to start that game off by introducing our teams. And first, here's our squad from Lafarge.
Dan Taylor, senior.
Jeff Spry, senior.
John Daines, junior. Kurt Jacobson, junior.
And Lafarge's alternate is Trevor Campbell, and their coach is Maggie Doherty. And here they are from Richland Center.
Kay Boyce, sophomore. April Greiling, sophomore.
Nick Roxton, senior.
Pat Frawley, senior.
And alternate Jose De La Rosa and coach Chris Mulholland. And now from Viterbo College, here he is, Wayne Wojciechowski.
Evening, Terry.
Very good to see you, Wayne.
Good to see you,
exciting game coming up.
Oh, it will be.
We don't know. Yes, indeed. Well, we don't know who's going to be in the final playing pairings, but you and I will decide that then after the outcome of this game, huh?
Right.
Okay, let's start High Quiz Bowl right after this break.
I enjoy my patients immensely. I think that's the best thing about being a nurse, is that you're in touch with so many people so much of the time. I think it was the profession I was meant to be in. It gives a person a great sense of satisfaction to hear someone say thank you and to smile and wave when they go out that door. Viterbo gave me all I needed to be the nurse I am today. Thanks, Viterbo.
When you buy Country Hearth Bread, you're buying natural goodness. When you buy Country Hearth Bread, you're buying quality ingredients because Country Hearth Bread has no artificial preservatives. When you buy Country Hearth Bread, you're buying nutrition to grow on. Your whole family will love the soft-textured quality of Country Hearth Bread.
Nature's gift of goodness, Country Hearth Bread.
Well, fans, it all comes down to this moment. This is where it all gets decided. Johnson steps in, checks the signs, makes a few adjustments. This is a classic confrontation. He's digging in. Here's the delivery. And there it goes. He's going back, way back. It is going. It is gone.
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
The ball game's over.
Our question authority is College Bowl Incorporated. Decision of Judge Wayne Wojciechowski will be final. Here's our first 10-point toss-up. Teams King Henry I of England married Princess Matilda of Scotland there in 1100. And Prince Andrew married Sarah Ferguson there 886 years later. For 10 points, in what building? Taylor, Lafarge.
Westminster Abbey.
That's good for 10 points. We'll go to our bonus categories. We have 5 to choose from. Geography, literature, music, United States, and miscellaneous.
United States, please.
Let's go to the United States category for 30 points. The two best-selling cars in the United States in 1985 were U.S. made, one by Chevrolet, the other by Ford. For 15 points each, give me their names.
Escort. Sprint.
Escort correct for 15 points. The other car was the Chevrolet Cavalier. A clock reads 6 minutes to 9. For 10 points, if the hands were exchanged, what would it read? Frawley, Richland Center.
6 minutes after 3.
No, Lafarge. Quarter to 11, or 15 minutes before 11. The bumper stickers read, "Go ahead, make me mayor." And the citizens of Carmel, California did just that. Frawley, Richland Center.
Clint Eastwood.
There you go for 10 points and a bonus.
Geography.
Let's go to geography for 25 points. Of the 6 populated continents, all but one, Australia, contain more than one country. For 5 points apiece, list the other 5 populated continents in descending order, based on the number of countries each contains.
Africa. Europe. Asia. South America. North America.
We can't give them any, can we, for that?
You can get the first one.
I can give the first one. Africa was correct, so you got 5 points for there. Followed by Asia, Europe, North America, and South America. Metrics are the standard throughout much of the world, teams. For 10 points, tell me to the nearest inch, how many inches are there in a meter? Spry, Lafarge.
39.
39.37 inches. That's good for 10 points.
United States, please.
Back to United States, 20 points. How well do you know our 50th state? Here are, for 10 points each, 2 questions on Hawaii. Captain Cook discovered the Hawaiian Islands in 1778. What name, Lafarge, did he give them? He was hungry that day, so he called them the Sandwich Islands. And the highest peak in Hawaii is on the largest island. Name it.
Maui.
Mauna Kea, which is 13,796 feet. In October 1985, it celebrated its first full year on the New York Times bestseller list for nonfiction. The only book, fiction or nonfiction, with such staying power during the 1980s. For 10 points, name this account of the rise of an immigrant son. Boyce, Richland Center.
Ayacoca.
An autobiography, that's correct.
We'll try geography again.
Let's go to geography for 20 points. The castle was called the Enchanted Hill. Its builder and owner was William Randolph Hearst. For 20 points, where in California can it be found? San Simeon. San Simeon. Prior to April 1975, for 10 points, what was the name of the Asian city now known as Ho Chi Minh City? Taylor, Lafarge.
Saigon.
That's correct. 10 and a bonus.
Geography, please.
Let's go to geography again. 20-point question. You all probably know the capitals of the United States. Well, I'll name the capitals of 4 Canadian provinces, and for 5 points each, you give me the name of the province. Edmonton.
Alberta.
Regina.
Quebec.
That's Saskatchewan. How about Winnipeg?
Manitoba.
Correct. And Halifax.
Nova Scotia.
That's Nova Scotia. That's good for 15 points. 3 golf greats teams, Bobby Nichols, Lee Trevino, and Jerry Hurd, were playing at the Western Open in 1975 when their careers and their lives were almost cut short by a golf course hazard. Jacobson, Lafarge.
A lightning storm?
A lightning storm.
Geography, please.
Let's go to geography. It's a 30-point question. Saudi Arabia lies near but doesn't border Israel. For 5 points apiece, or 30 for all 4, name the 4 Arab nations which border Israel.
Egypt. Lebanon.
That's good for 10 points. Jordan and Syria, the other 2. Kaolinic means of or pertaining to a white clay used in making porcelain. It was also the decisive word in the 1986 National Spelling Bee. So for 10 points, spell it. Kaolinic. K-A-O-L-I-N-I-C. Wellington rode Copenhagen at the Battle of Waterloo. For 10 points, who rode Rocinante at the Battle of the Windmills? Taylor Lafarge.
Don Quixote.
That's correct. 10 and a bonus.
Miscellaneous.
Let's go to the miscellaneous category for 20 points. Anything that moves over the surface of the earth, such as wind or water, tends to curve in one direction in the northern hemisphere and in the opposite direction in the southern hemisphere. For 20 points, does it tend to curve in the right or left in our hemisphere?
Right.
Correct. Ethan Allen was the leader of this group of irregular militiamen, originally organized to protect the New Hampshire land grants against land speculators. But it's best remembered for the dramatic capture of Fort Ticonderoga in 1775. For 10 points, name the group. Taylor Lafarge.
Green Mountain Boys.
That's good again for 10 and a bonus.
Miscellaneous.
It's a 30-point question. If I said the United States of, you would probably say America. For 10 points each, identify the following countries from the beginnings of their official names as used by our State Department. The Hashemite Kingdom of
Syria.
No, Jordan. The Grand Duchy of
Netherlands.
Luxembourg. And finally, the European Federal Republic of Germany. There are gold, silver, and platinum. For 10 points, how many record albums must be sold to rate a platinum album? Boys, Richland Center.
10 million.
No, Lafarge. Brian.
10,000.
No, 1 million. 1 million. Teams, I reach for the coffee pot, intending to pour myself a cup of coffee. Happening to touch the hot surface instead of the handle, that buzzer means we've reached halftime in our final game of the regular season of the High Quiz Bowl. We'll be back to check on the scores and meet our teams right after this break.
Roman meal bread salutes everyone who gives their best in the biggest race of all, the human race.
Wings on your feet, let your smile come shining through. You're on top of the world, and enjoy your love you. You're happy and fit, and go for more. Roman meal, when you know what's good for you.
The human race. Get into it.
Isn't it more than size? You bet it is. But if size concerns you, Viterbo College is smaller than most colleges, about 1,100 students. Why not enroll where your needs and interests come first, where you can be in the mainstream of activity? At Viterbo College, you can have closer friends. Some of them might even be faculty members. Viterbo College. Try us on for size and variety and friendliness.
We're tossing 3 crisp tastes. Fresh taste.
Great taste. McDonald's shrimp salad. McDonald's chef salad. McDonald's garden salad.
We're tossing them fresh, tossing them crisp. You've never had a salad like this.
Toss fresh all day to take any place.
It's a good time for the great taste.
Shrimp salad, chef salad, garden salad.
Of McDonald's.
Wayne, I asked you a couple of weeks ago if you had any idea how much money Viterbo was given in scholarship money during High Quiz Bowl. Did you do any research on that, or?
Well, we haven't done any research. But actually, if this is the 31st game, you know, and really...
We could do some quick math,
Sure.
huh?
Maybe that could be a toss-up. It's $800 times 31, plus, you know, what we give out during the playoffs, and also...
We'll have to have Mary do that multiplication for us. We'll find out at the end of the show, huh?
Good idea.
Okay. Where do we stand halftime in this game?
Well, Lafarge has 120 points, Richland Center 25.
Okay, Wayne, thanks much. Talk to you later. And here's our squad from Lafarge. Good to see you folks with us this evening. Mr. Spry, tell us a little bit about your school.
Lafarge High School, nestled in the hills of the scenic Kickapoo Valley, serves Lafarge and its students for their plans after high school, whether it be college, vocational school, or going directly into the workforce. Lafarge High School strives to meet the needs of all its students, academic studies in science, math, social studies, English, and a foreign language. Lafarge also offers a wide range of vocational programs as electives, including industrial arts, agriculture, art, music, business, and computer science. The FFA and FHA allow students to prepare themselves for after high school by learning through community involvement. Annually, Lafarge sends students to state competition in music and forensics. In athletics, Lafarge is a member of the Ridge and Valley Conference and competes in 6 varsity sports. Last month, our Travelers Club visited Washington, D.C. The trip was the result of over a year of fundraising and planning. Although Lafarge has a high school enrollment of less than 100 students, its teacher-student ratio benefits the students and fosters a personalized learning experience that lasts a lifetime. Lafarge High School would like to thank Viterbo College and High Quiz Bowl for the chance to compete.
Any of you guys get to go to Washington? All of us. Oh, okay, great. Good. Well, good to have you with us, and good luck in the second half. And here is our squad from Richland Center. You folks got an opportunity here to be our final 3-time winner of this season, so we're going to have to put some steam on, huh? Okay, let's find out a little bit about your school at this point.
At Richland Center High School, we try to offer a unique and different perspective of school, classes, and sports. We have more different classes to choose from rather than just having a basic algebra and history classes. We offer courses in art and ceramics. There are classes also in French, German, and Spanish. Instead of just textbook studying, we have many labs in all of our science classes, which include biology, biology 2, chemistry, and physics. RCHS also tries to give well-rounded elective courses such as welding and industrial art classes. The high school also offers independent living classes which teach the students how to cook, among other things. Our sports activities are equally varied and give the students many choices for extracurricular activities. Among the sports offered are cross-country, softball, baseball, and track. The best part is that the opportunity to learn doesn't end with the school year. Courses are offered over the summer for those interested students.
Very good, Ms. Greiling. Now, you know, we've got a whole half left here, so no long faces. Everybody get ready to go here. We're going to have another good half of High Quiz Bowl, okay? All right, we'll be back with that game, the end of the game, right after this break.
Discovered that students attending small liberal arts colleges have more contact with faculty and they're more satisfied with their education than students at large universities. At Viterbo College, we're very encouraged by the Carnegie Foundation report and its affirmation of what has been our mission for 96 years.
Good morning, good neighbor. For freshness and flavor, you have a good neighbor.
When it comes to freshness and flavor, choose your good neighbor bakers, the Good Night Bakers of Wholesome.
Wholesome's flavor secret is quality in everything. The yeast, flour, everything. No Wholesome family is more than a few hours from our ovens. We deliver freshness. Wholesome's wrapped oven fresh just before dawn. Good morning. I know it's good because I eat it. And I know why it's good because we bake it.
At the conclusion of this half, Wayne and I will do the drawings which will determine the pairings for our playoff action here on High Quiz Bowl. Now, this is our final game of the regular season, and we're going to see what happens here. Richland Center, if they win, will be in the playoffs. And if Lafarge wins, they will have a position then next year. They'll have one game, that is, under their belt, and then they'll come back and have one already won and try to win two, so they'll be in the playoffs in 1988. So that's how that all works. We'll talk about that just a little bit later. Let's continue now with our second half, and here's our first 10-point toss-up. Teams, the U.S. Constitution defines only one crime. Now, for 10 points, what is that crime? Frawley, Richland Center.
What is treason? Then?
Treason is correct for 10 points. We'll go to our bonus categories, Richland Center. We have geography, we have literature, music, United States, and miscellaneous. And Ms. Growling, pick us a category.
United States.
Okay, for 30 points. Bismarck, the capital of North Dakota, was named for a German chancellor. For 15 points each, name these other state capitals that share their names with historical people. The commander of the British 8th Army in World War II.
Montgomery.
And an early 20th century Secretary of State. Lansing, Michigan. 15 points then. Teams, for a quick 10 points, what seagoing craft went aground at Ararat? Taylor, Lafarge.
Noah's Ark.
Correct for 10. And a bonus for Lafarge.
Miscellaneous.
Let's go to miscellaneous. It's a 30-point question. The United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization had marginally good news at year's end. The number of African nations facing major famine is now down from 12 to 6. For 10 points each, name any 3 of the 6 remaining nations where starvation remains prevalent.
Ethiopia, Sudan, Zambia, Namibia.
Ethiopia and Sudan were correct. Zambia is not on the list. Angola is, though. So is Mozambique, Botswana, and Cape Verde. So we can give you 20 points. For 10 points, teams, if I draw 12 spades in a row from a deck of cards, what are the chances of drawing the 13th spade on the next turn? Brogsted, Richland Center.
1 in 40.
That's correct for 10 points and a bonus.
We'll try United States.
Let's go to the United States. It's a 20-point question. For 10 points each, here are 2 questions on our Constitution. How many articles were in the Constitution as originally adopted?
12.
No, 7. And what is the number of the last amendment to have become law?
21st.
26. Dr. William DeVries is famous for his artificial heart transplants. For 10 points, what was transplanted in a series of operations by Dr. Robert Gale during his spring 1986 trips to the Soviet Union? Daines, Lafarge.
Kidneys.
No, Richland Center. Frawley.
Thyroid.
No, bone marrow because of the effects of radiation from Chernobyl. Something that occurs once every year is called an annual event. For 10 points, how often are occurrences called diurnal events? Frawley, Richland Center.
7 years.
No, Lafarge. Jacobson.
2 years.
No, they are daily events. A classic example of alliteration describes the harvesting of a precise quantity of an improbable crop by a man who was apparently a musician by trade. For 10 points, quote the first line of this children's verse. Boys, Richland Center.
Peter Piper picked a pint of pickled peppers.
No, that's not correct. Lafarge. Daines.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Great. That is correct for 10 points. It's a peck rather than a pint. And we will give you a bonus question.
United States.
Let's go to United States. Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota are the twin cities. For 15 points apiece, identify the twins of the following. Columbus, Georgia.
Columbus, Ohio.
No, that'd be Phoenix City, Alabama. How about Council Bluffs, Iowa? That would be Omaha, Nebraska. The first major breakthrough in the treatment of sickle cell anemia was announced in June 1986, a treatment which has been widely used to fight infectious diseases since 1928. For 10 points, what is this well-known antibiotic hitherto unused as a treatment for sickle cell? Frawley, Richland Center.
Penicillin.
That's correct for 10.
United States.
Let's go to... they're all gone. The United States is gone.
Literature.
Let's go to literature. 20-point question. Joseph wore a coat of many colors. For 20 points, in a famous 17th century novel, who wore some rusty old armor, including a helmet, which was once a barber's basin, and carried a lance?
Don Quixote.
That's right, for 20 points. Teams, for a quick 10 points, which amendment to the Constitution provides a guarantee against double jeopardy? Jacobson, Lafarge.
8th Amendment.
No. Richland Center. Frawley.
10th.
No, the 5th Amendment. I'm looking for a word that has 4 letters in it, 3 of which are the same. For 10 points, tell me the word that means to put asleep or rest by soothing means. Brogsted, Richland Center.
Lull.
Sorry, sir?
Lull.
Lull is correct. L-U-L-L. Bonus time.
Literature again.
Back to literature for 30 points. For 10 points apiece, identify the works by Charles Dickens that includes each of these characters. Pip.
Great Expectations.
Uriah Heep. That's David Copperfield. How about Bill Sykes? Oliver Twist. 10 points on that bonus. Let's go. What highly prized natural resource would you be apt to find teams in the long ridge that runs through Johannesburg, South Africa? Raleigh, Richland Center.
Diamond.
No. Lafarge. Taylor.
Coal.
No. Gold is the answer we were looking for. The year after Cal Coolidge said, "I do not choose to run." For 10 points, what Secretary of Commerce ran and won? Raleigh, Richland Center.
Harding.
No. Lafarge. How did they say that? Hubert Heaver? Is that how Herbert Hoover was the answer. Here's a 10-point toss-up. In a story by H.G. Wells, a man named Griffin terrorized passerbys on London streets. For 10 points, what's the title? Voice, Richland Center.
The Time Machine?
No. Lafarge. Jacobson.
War of the Worlds?
No, that spooky invisible man. Gregory, Charles, Leo, Alfred, Alexander, Frederick, and Catherine. For 10 points, what one adjective is used? Raleigh, Richland Center.
Great.
Great is correct for 10.
Literature?
Let's go to literature. It's a 30-point question. Given the author and the year in which he or she won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, for 10 points each, name the winning book. Alice Walker, 1983.
The Color Purple.
William Kennedy, 1984. That was called Ironwood. How about Alison Lurie, 1985? That was called Foreign Affairs. And that buzzer means we've reached the end of Game 31 in the regular season of High Quiz Bowl. We'll be back to determine our playoff opportunities right after this.
Discover the wonder. Imagine the possibilities. The arts, the turbo, and you.
When you buy Country Hearth Bread, you're buying natural goodness. When you buy Country Hearth Bread, you're buying quality ingredients because Country Hearth Bread has no artificial preservatives. When you buy Country Hearth Bread, you're buying nutrition to grow on. Your whole family will love the soft-textured quality of Country Hearth Bread.
Nature's gift of goodness. Country Hearth Bread.
Well, fans, it all comes down to this moment. This is where it all gets decided. Johnson steps in, checks the signs, makes a few adjustments. This is a classic confrontation. He's digging in. Here's the delivery. And there it goes. He's going back, way back. It is going. It is gone.
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
The ball game's over.
Well, our 31st game is over, and where do we stand score-wise?
Lafarge beat out Richland Center, 160 to 130. Very close game.
A tight one. Let's award our scholarships.
April, we have $300 added to your $1,000. That's $1,300. Congratulations to you and your team. Excellent competition.
Thank you.
And Jake, we have $500 for someone at Lafarge High School, Viterbo College. And maybe all of you want to come back next year? You can be seniors again. Okay. Thank you. Congratulations.
Well, Wayne, here are the pairings as we have drawn during our commercial break. Eau Claire North will play Eau Claire Memorial. That should be a good game,
Very
huh?
good.
What did you say, they can ride down together in the same car, huh? La Crosse Central will play Hillsborough. West Salem will play Rochester Lourdes. And Seneca receives a bye. They will not have to play the first game, and they'll just wait and play one of the winners of these other three games.
Right.
Sounds good. Join us for High Quiz Bowl next week, the playoffs, right here on WKBT Television 8.
High Quiz Bowl has been brought to you by Viterbo College with grant support from the Ashley Furniture Company, Hampton Inn of La Crosse, Country Kitchens of Wisconsin, and Empire Screen Printing Incorporated. Wholesome bread baked by Erickson Bakeries, the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company of La Crosse, and by McDonald's of La Crosse, Prairie du Chien, Toma, and Decorah.
I'm the operator with my pocket calculator. I'm the operator with my pocket calculator.
WKBT Lacrosse.
Welcome to WKBT's High Quiz Bowl, the varsity sport of the mind, pitting the sharpest minds of our area high schools in head-to-head competition. High Quiz Bowl is sponsored by St. Mary's College of Winona, Minnesota, your nearby red and white food store, Western Federal Savings, NSP, and by McDonald's of La Crosse, Prairie du Chien, Tomah, and Decorah.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 17th season of High Quiz Bowl, the varsity sport of the mind. My name is Terry Workus. I serve as host and moderator of this exciting game show which pits the sharpest minds of our area high schools in head-to-head competition. This evening we have Lafarge against Bangor. We also have a couple of changes. We have some cosmetic changes, and we have one very major change, and that is St. Mary's College of Winona, Minnesota joins us as a major sponsor, and they are supplying the judge, who will meet momentarily. But right now, let's meet our teams. First, here is our squad from Lafarge.
Darren Oliphant, Lafarge. John Daines, senior. Kurt Jacobson, senior.
Trevor Campbell, senior.
Alternate Chris Zaum and coach Maggie Doherty. And our squad from Bangor.
Todd Michaels, junior.
Andy Kick, senior.
Lyle P. Schaller, senior.
Paul Whitmerhouse, senior.
And alternate Sue Steckel, coach Michael Cohen. And our judge this season from St. Mary's College in Winona, Minnesota, Don Christie. Don, good to meet you.
Thank you, Terry.
I'm so very happy to have you with us here this season. We're looking forward to a goodie. Now tell us a bit about what you do at St. Mary's.
Terry, I'm the chair of the mass communication department at St. Mary's.
So this is all old hat to you, being on TV and all that sort of thing.
Well, we'll find out.
All right, great. We'll find out right after this break here on High Quiz Bowl.
When you think about the special times in your life, what you probably remember most are the people. People who laughed with you, worked with you, shared with you. Every college has buildings, classrooms, a library, a place to eat. What makes St. Mary's College special is the people. They care, and that personal caring shows. Freshmen are individually counseled in selecting courses. Our freshman advising program has been nationally recognized. And St. Mary's offers a unique tutoring program, providing free, one-on-one learning in any subject to any student who wants it. St. Mary's College is special because our people are. St. Mary's College, celebrating 75 years of excellence.
Students, how are you going to pay for your continued education? Western Federal Savings, your friend of the family, is your student loan headquarters. They have fast and easy loans for students who qualify. Western Federal can process your application very quickly, usually within 24 hours. Contact any of the Western Federal offices for details.
Western Federal Savings and Loan, a friend of the family.
Lafarge returns to us with one win under their belt. Last year at the end of the season, they won a game and were not able to continue because the season ended. So they come back with one win credited to their account. They're looking forward to 2 wins, which will then put them into a position to be in the playoffs coming up next spring. But Bangor may have something to say about that. I want to remind you our question authority is College Bowl Incorporated. The decision of Judge Don will be final. So let's begin our first High Quiz Bowl game of the season. Teams, here's our first 10-point toss-up. By 1937, he was Musse Peak in Sweden. In Latin America, he was known as El Ratan Miguelito. In Japan, Mickey Cucci. And to the French, Michel Souris. For 10 points, teams, who is this American cartoon character? Jacobson, Lafarge.
Mickey Mouse.
M-I-C-K-E-Y is absolutely correct. So we'll go to our bonus categories, Lafarge. We have 5 to choose from this evening. We have biology, famous people, geography, history, and miscellaneous. Mr. Daines, what's your choice?
History, please.
Let's go to the history category for 20 points. In 1918, President Woodrow Wilson addressed a joint session of Congress and laid out his plan for a lasting peace. For 20 points, what was it called, Lafarge?
It's 14 points.
That is correct for 20 points. Teams, after declaring his presidential candidacy in December of 1919, he confided to a friend, "The only thing I worry about is that I might be nominated and elected. That's an awful thing to contemplate." Well, it was, and he was? For 10 points, name him. Schaller, Bangor.
Coolidge.
No. Lafarge. Danes.
Grover Cleveland.
No, it was Warren G. Harding. Slowly, very slowly, like two unhurried compass needles, the feet turned towards the right. North, northeast, east, southeast, south, south-southwest, then paused. And after a few seconds, turned as unhurriedly back towards the left. For 10 points, what futuristic novel by Aldous Huxley concludes with this description of its hanged hero? Schaller, Bangor.
Brave New World.
That's good for 10 points. And a bonus for Bangor. We'll give you that same choice. Mr. Kick.
We'd like geography, please.
Let's go to the geography category for the first time, and a 20-point potential. The Sahara is, of course, the largest desert in the world, Bangor. Well, for 10 points apiece, identify these other deserts. The largest desert in Asia. It covers parts of China and Mongolia.
The Mongol Desert.
No, that'd be the Gobi Desert. The desert in southern Israel that covers more than half the country's territory.
Sinai Desert.
No, that's the Negev Desert, the Negev. Teams, if a recently published Soviet theory proves correct, the sky is falling, and the whole universe will eventually collapse. All because of some tiny but abundant particles which have... Michael's, Bangor.
Ozone?
No, that's not correct. Lafarge, all because of some tiny but abundant particles which have the energy and mass of 8/1000ths of an electron. For 10 points, name this elusive particle. Can we accept his answer?
Sure.
Jacobson, Lafarge.
Neuron.
No, that's not correct. It's called the neutrino. Neutrino. Teens, the mayor's intentions may have been good, but the result was anything but good, as several city blocks went up in smoke after Mayor Wilson Goode okayed the bombing of MOVE's headquarters. That was back in May 1985. Now for 10 points, in what city? Whitmer House, Bangor.
Philadelphia.
That's good for 10 points. And back to the bonus category for Bangor.
We'd like geography, man, please.
Back to geography, 30 points. Despite its name, the Caspian Sea is considered the largest lake in the world. For 10 points apiece, name the next 3 largest lakes.
Superior, Victoria, and Michigan.
Superior, correct. Victoria, correct. The third would be the Aral Sea. A-R-A-L, the Aral Sea. 20 points on that bonus. Teams Liberty, Surprise, Prima, Priscilla, Ozark Gold, Red June, Golden Delicious, Stamen, and Schaller, Bangor.
Apples.
Apples is correct for 10 and a bonus.
Geography, please.
Back to geography, 20 points. Let's take a trip to some European tourist attractions. For 5 points or 20 points for all 3, in or near what city can you find first the Parthenon?
Athens.
St. Paul's Cathedral.
Rome.
That would be London. How about St. Mark's Cathedral?
Paris.
That would be Venice, so we give you 5 points. Teams, he's the most prominent politician in quite a while from West Virginia. He's been both the Senate Majority and Minority Leader. For 10 points, who is he? Jacobson, Lafarge.
Robert Dole.
No, that's not correct. Bangor. Robert Byrd. 3 composers were asked to conduct the same symphony, teams. One conducted it lento, one adagio, and one andante. Now for 10 points, which conductor should finish first? Campbell, Lafarge.
Andante.
Pardon me, sir.
Andante.
That's absolutely correct. Bonus time for Mr. Jacobson. You can give us our, pardon me, Mr. Daines.
History, please.
Very good. We'll go to history. It's a 30-point potential. 30 points are yours for identifying this century after the first clue. We'll give you 20 points after the second, or if you need all 3 clues, we'll give you 10 points. The English East India Company is chartered, and the universities of Mexico and Lima are chartered. The century the Jesuits are founded, and the Huguenots are massacred on St. Bartholomew's Day.
(1873).
The century Shakespeare is born, and Luther begins the Reformation.
1564.
Well, what do you think there, Judge?
No.
The 16th century is the answer. If you would have said the 1500s, we could have accepted that. So no points on that bonus. Let's continue. Taylor, Tyler, or Polk? For 10 points, of those three people, who was president first? Whitmer House, Bangor.
Taylor.
That's not correct. Lafarge. Danes.
Tyler.
Tyler is correct for 10 points and a bonus.
History, please.
History category for 25 points. In the 1762 Battle of Havana, 11,000 British troops laid siege to the Cuban capital and finally captured it after 2 months of fighting. For 25 points, Lafarge, of what worldwide war was this battle a part of?
World War I.
No, that was the 7 Years' War, or the French and Indian War. Teams, while a grizzly bear is a bear, a woolly bear isn't a bear. For 10 points, what furry little creature with 2 black ends and a red, brown, or yellow middle is called a woolly bear? Campbell, Lafarge.
Caterpillar.
That's correct for 10 points and a bonus for Lafarge.
Geography, please.
It's a 30-point potential. For 10 points each, in which U.S. counties are each of these major cities the county seat? Chicago, Illinois.
Cook.
Atlanta, Georgia. That's Fulton County. How about Detroit, Michigan? That's Wayne County. 10 points on that bonus. Teams, that buzzer means we've reached halftime. We'll be back to meet our teams and check on the score right after this break.
On your right, the Taylors. 100 star home points just by putting more insulation in their attic. And the Paulsons. They just added 200 points with the new high-efficiency furnace.
NSP's new Star Home program. Beautiful gifts, extra comfort, added value, and lower energy bills. Ask about it.
Make your home a star. In Efficiency Plus Star Home.
Instead of overlooking Wisconsin's medical commitment to quality, look again. From Gunderson Clinic to Marshfield to Madison as well as Milwaukee, leading-edge medicine in Wisconsin is not found in congested metropolitan centers, but located where it should be, next to where people live. We're proud to be a part of this fine tradition.
Well, Don, where do we stand score-wise after half?
Well, it's still very close. It's 70-50 in favor of Lafarge.
Very good, Don. We'll look forward to talking with you at the end of the program.
Okay.
Okay, let's step over here now. First of all, meet our squad and speak with our squad from Lafarge. Mr. Daines, tell us a bit about your school, please.
Lafarge High School, nestled in the hills of the scenic Kickapoo Valley, serves Lafarge and its surrounding area by preparing its students for their plans after high school, whether it be college, vocational school, or going directly into the workforce. Lafarge High School strives to meet the needs of all its students' academic studies in science, math, social studies, English, and a foreign language via the CTN network, and also offers a wide range of vocational program electives including industrial arts, agriculture, home economics, music, business, and computer science. The FFA and FHA allow students to prepare themselves after high school by learning through community involvement. Annually, Lafarge has sent students to state competition in music and forensics. In athletics, Lafarge is a member of the Ridge and Valley Conference and competes in 6 varsity sports. Although Lafarge has a high school enrollment of less than 100 students, its teacher-student ratio benefits the students and fosters a personalized learning experience that lasts a lifetime. Lafarge High School would like to thank St. Mary's College of Winona and High Quiz Bowl for the chance to compete.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Daines, and the best of luck to your squad from Lafarge here in the second half of tonight's game. And now let's step over here and speak with our squad from Bangor. And Susan Steckel has joined us to tell us a bit about Bangor.
Bangor High School prides itself on its balanced excellence in academic, athletic, and extracurricular endeavors. Our school offers a strong college preparatory program, as well as more traditional and vocationally oriented courses. In tune with today's technological advancement, Bangor High now has 2 computer labs, enabling even more students to become involved with the computer revolution. Both boys and girls athletic teams have consistently proven themselves strong contenders in our conference. Last year's highly successful forensics team sent nearly half its members to state, while the drama productions drew capacity audiences. We wish to thank all the sponsors for this opportunity to represent our fine school.
Well, thank you, Sue, and the best of luck to the squad from Bangor here in the second half of this evening's game. We'll be back with that second half right after this break.
Sure, you need a heavier extension cord, but that's the only one available. It might get a little hot, but it's only for tonight. You can buy a bigger one tomorrow.
So you only have a 100-watt handy. Sure, it's pretty big, but you can get a 60-watt in the morning.
Don't do it. High-power use appliances connected with lightweight extension cords or high-wattage bulbs used in low-wattage fixtures can cause a fire.
Be safe, not sorry.
When the clock strikes 6:30, babe, time to head for golden lights. It's a good time for a great taste dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac tonight.
Big news, everybody! Now you can get a Big Mac at McDonald's for just 99 cents after 4 p.m. So make it a Big Mac tonight.
Let's begin our second half of High Quiz Bowl. Teams, here's our first 10-point toss-up of the second half. During his graveyard period, he often wrote about death and dying, sometimes humorously, as in Ode on the Death of a Favorite Cat. Kick, Bangor.
Edgar Allan Poe.
No, that's not correct. Lafarge. He often wrote about death and dying, sometimes humorously, as in Ode on the Death of a Favorite Cat drowned in a tub of goldfishes, sometimes seriously, as in an elegy written in a country churchyard. An elegy written in a country churchyard was that title. Now, for 10 points, give me the name of this English poet. That was Thomas Gray. Thomas Gray. Teams, if you were writing a letter to your grandmother and you bought a francobollo to stick on the envelope, for 10 points, what country would you be in? Michaels, Bangor.
France.
No, Lafarge. James.
Poland.
No, that's the postage of Italy. Its Hebrew name, taken from its opening phrase, translates as these words. Its Greek name, used in English, translates as second law. For 10 points, teams, what is this Old Testament book ascribed to Moses? Whitmer House, Bangor.
Leviticus.
No, that's not correct. Lafarge? Staines.
Deuteronomy.
That is correct for 10 points, and we'll go to the bonus categories. We have biology, famous people, geography, history, and miscellaneous. And what would you like to start us off with here in the second half?
Miscellaneous, please.
Let's go to the miscellaneous category for, I believe, the first time. 20-point potential. We measure apples and wheat in bushels. Well, for 10 points each, Lafarge, what items in particular were or are measured by the following units? A carat.
Diamonds.
Can we accept that answer,
Sure.
Judge? Yes, precious stones or gold. A cord.
Wood.
That is correct for all of the 20 points. Teams, on August 24th, 1814, the British captured and burned Washington, D.C. Now, during that time, for 10 points, where was Napoleon? Daines, Lafarge.
Waterloo.
No. Bangor. Kick.
Paris.
No, it was Elba. Elba. I was going to say he doesn't like Iowa, but I had to pass on that one. Here's a 10-point toss-up, teams. His first novel was the World War II classic From Here to Eternity. Now, later works included Schaller, Bangor.
Jones.
That's correct. James Jones. Good for 10 points and a bonus for Bangor.
We'll try geography.
Geography for the final time this evening. It's a 30-point question. It's a very long way from West Germany to Laos, Bangor. But if you wanted to make that journey, you'd only have to travel through 3 intervening countries. For 10 points, which 3 countries?
East Germany, Poland, and USSR.
The USSR is correct, so we'll give you 10 points. Czechoslovakia and China are the other 2 countries. So 10 points total on that bonus. The process of reproducing an organism from an individual in such a way that it resembles the original in every detail makes it possible to have, as the old song title put it, a girl just like the girl that married dear old dad. Well, for 10 points, Identify this rather spooky procedure. Kick, Bangor.
Cloning.
That is right. Cloning is good for 10 points and a bonus.
Miscellaneous, please.
It's a 20-point potential. This title has been held by Angelo Roncalli, Giovanni Montini, Albino Lucioni, and presently by Carol Votiva. Now for 20 points, what is the title? The Pope. Here's a 10-point toss-up. With over 11 million residents, this Pacific Coast city is certainly among the largest in the world. For 10 points, which kick Bangor?
Los Angeles.
No, that's not correct. Lafarge. For 10 points, which Chinese city is this? James.
Peking.
No, it would be Shanghai. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, is often associated with a Major League ball player. Jacobson, Lafarge.
Lou Gehrig.
That is correct for 10 points. And a bonus for Lafarge.
Famous people, please.
It's a 25-point potential. He was born in Scotland. Commissioned in the Continental Navy, he captured 16 ships as commander of the Providence, and then commanded the sloop Ranger, carrying out a series of raids on the British. His greatest feat was the capture of the Serapis. After the Revolution, he was a rear admiral in the Russian Navy under Catherine the Great. For 25 points, give me his name, Lafarge.
John Paul Jones.
That's good for 25 points. Teams, if someone were to criticize your fricatives and glottal stops, for 10 points, what would he be criticizing? Jacobson, Lafarge.
The way you talk.
Your speech is correct for 10 points.
Famous people, please.
It's a 30-point question. The Peter who had a wife and couldn't keep her was Peter Pumpkin Eater. Well, for 10 points apiece, identify these Peters of fact and fiction. The Peter who made a canny purchase for the equivalent of $24. That would be Peter Minuit. How about the Peter who ran away to a far land so you would never have to grow up?
Peter Pan.
That's good. And the Peter who was a French preacher and promoted the First Crusade.
Peter the Great.
That was Peter the Hermit. So 10 points on that bonus. Teams, what event in American history was precipitated when a mob looking for a fight threw ice, pieces of wood, Jacobson, Lafarge?
The Boston Massacre.
That's good for 10 points and a bonus.
Famous people, please.
Back to the famous people category, a 30-point question. Only 2 men sat in the British cabinet during World Wars I and II, and neither was totally British. One was a Canadian-born newspaper magnate. The other was the son of a Brooklyn socialite and an honorary U.S. citizen in his own right. For 15 points each, name them.
Churchill.
Churchill is good for 15 points. The other name is Lord Beaverbrook. He was also known as William Aitken. Teams, although it was first staged in 1895, its true world premiere occurred in November 1985, after Oscar Wilde's original script was discovered in the New York Public Library. For 10 points, name this comedy concerning the actual name of Mr. Jack Worthing. The importance of being earnest. For a quick 10 points, what's the name for high-frequency electromagnetic radiation emitted by radioactive atoms? Kick, Bangor.
Radiation.
No. Yes, I'm sorry. That's correct.
Can we accept that answer?
Yes.
We can accept that. Gamma rays or radiation. We'll give you a bonus.
Miscellaneous, please.
Let's go to the miscellaneous category. It is 20 points. The most famous finger in legend is the Dutch boys, whose finger plugged the hole in the dike. For 10 points each, whose nose is the most famous nose in drama?
Cyrano de Bergerac.
Uh-huh. And whose smile is the most famous? Nat King Cole sang about her, Mona Lisa. Here's a 10-point toss-up. What's the word taken from Latin that describes a direct vote of the people to decide what course the government will take? Michaels, Bangor.
Referendum.
That's good for 10 points.
Miscellaneous, please.
It's a 20-point question again. For 10 points each, what are the common names for these weapons championed by the Reagan administration? Boeing produces the ALCM, and General Dynamics the Tomahawk version of this weapon. That would be the cruise missile. We'll be back to award our scholarships right after this break.
Did you know that nonprofit organizations can earn money for trips, uniforms, equipment, and more at Red and White? They can. By collecting the labels of quality Red and White brand products, participating Red and White grocers will pay 3 cents for each label collected and turned in. It's that easy. And those collecting labels will enjoy the high-quality Red and White brand products delivered. So register your nonprofit organization at a Red and White food store and start collecting today. The Red and White Label Redemption Program. It's money in the bank.
Hello, I'm Brother Louis de Thomases. As president of St. Mary's College in Winona, I want to take this opportunity to tell you how delighted we are to be sponsors of WKBT's High Quiz Bowl. We know that the students involved in this type of competition are concerned with excellence, as we are here at St. Mary's College. We hope that the scholarships that are provided by St. Mary's College will be of help to students in the region. Good luck to all of you.
If you're a local high school student considering college, we hope you'll take a look at St. Mary's. This year, we celebrate our 75th anniversary, and there are activities scheduled throughout the year. I'm Tony Piscatello, Vice President for Admission, inviting you to meet our admission counselors in your school this fall and to visit our magnificent campus here in Winona. Call us at 457-1-SMC. We'd love to hear from you.
Well, Don Christie, our first game of High Quiz Bowl for this 17th season is history. And what will history show the final score?
Final score was Lafarge 180, Bangor 105.
And I understand that St. Mary's College has some scholarships to award, so we'll let you do that right now to, first of all, Bangor.
Bangor, we're very happy to present these scholarships to St. Mary's College for use by your team and students. Thank you.
And now, here's our victory squad, shall we say, from Lafarge.
Congratulations, and I hope someone on your team can use the scholarship to St. Mary's.
Thank you. Very good. Well, Don, we sure have appreciated having you with us here for this first game of the 17th season, and we look forward to having many, many more with you.
Great. It's been a lot of fun.
All right. Please join us again next week for High Quiz Bowl. It's Lafarge coming back for looking for win number 3 against a tough squad from Arcadia. Do join us right here on High Quiz Bowl.
High Quiz Bowl has been brought to you by St. Mary's College of Winona, Minnesota, McDonald's of La Crosse, Prairie du Chien, Tomah, and Decorah, Red and White Food Stores, NSP, and Western Federal Savings, your friend of the family.
WKBT La Crosse.
Welcome to WKBT's High Quiz Bowl, the varsity sport of the mind, pitting the sharpest minds of our area high schools in head-to-head competition. High Quiz Bowl is sponsored by St. Mary's College of Winona, Minnesota, your nearby Red and White Food Store, Western Federal Savings, NSP, and by McDonald's of La Crosse, Prairie du Chien, Tomah, and Decorah.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to High Quiz Bowl, the varsity sport of the mind. My name is Terry Workus. I serve as host and moderator of this exciting program which pits the sharpest minds of our area high schools in head-to-head competition. We've got 2 fine squads with us tonight. We have Lafarge looking for their 3rd win of the season, and we also have a tough squad from Arcadia who's going to see what they can do to stop Lafarge in their tracks. Well, let's meet our squads. First, let's meet our squad from Arcadia.
Dee Dee Angst, senior.
Kurt Drezik, senior. Travis Sansala, senior.
Mike Dahl, junior.
Alternates Karen Kampa and Carl Schultz, and Coach Kathy Lockington. And our squad from Lafarge.
Oliphant, senior.
John Daines, senior.
Kurt Jacobson, senior. Trevor Campbell, senior.
Chris Zahm, alternate, and Coach Maggie Doherty. And from St. Mary's College in Winona, Minnesota, he is our judge, and he's the one that keeps things going in terms of that, make sure we all are giving the right answers and we're getting the right responses. Dom Christie.
Very good, Terry.
I do a good job of that name. Especially when
Every time you read it, it works well.
Good to see you, Dom. We had a good game last week. Your first as a High Quiz Bowl judge. It went great. tonight's going to be even better.
Right.
Right after this break here on High Quiz Bowl.
When you think about the special times in your life, what you probably remember most are the people. People who laughed with you, worked with you, shared with you. Every college has buildings, classrooms, a library, a place to eat. What makes St. Mary's College special is the people. They care, and that personal caring shows. Freshmen are individually counseled in selecting courses. Our freshman advising program has been nationally recognized. And St. Mary's offers a unique tutoring program, providing free, one-on-one learning in any subject to any student who wants it. St. Mary's College is special because our people are. St. Mary's College, celebrating 75 years of excellence.
On your right, the Taylors. 100 Star Home points just by putting more insulation in their attic. And the Paulsons. They just added 200 points with the new high-efficiency furnace.
NSP's new Star Home program. Beautiful gifts, extra comfort, added value, and lower energy bills. Ask about it.
Make your home a star. In Efficiency Plus Star Home.
Even though we're at the second game of this 87-88 High Quiz Bowl season, Lafarge has 2 wins under their belt already. One comes to us from last season, so that's why they have 2 wins. They're looking for number 3 tonight, and as I say, we have Arcadia here as their competition. Our question authority is College Bowl Incorporated. The decision of our judge will be final. Let's begin our High Quiz Bowl game. Teams, here's our first 10-point toss-up. It's another name for a lynx. It's a kind of labor strike, and it's a kind of oil well. For 10 points, what's the word? Days, Lafarge.
Bobcat.
No, that's not correct. Arcadia. Dahl.
Derek.
No, cat was close. You had the wrong cat, though. It was called a wildcat. A wildcat. Here's a 10-point toss-up. His most famous work opens, I think that I shall never see, and concludes, only God can make a tree. For 10 points, who was he? Joyce Kilmer. Joyce Kilmer. In linear measure teams, 12 inches makes a foot. Well, for 10 points, what other unit of linear measure is some 6 trillion miles long? Danes, Lafarge.
Light year.
That's right. The distance it takes light to go in a year. We have 5 bonus categories to choose from, Lafarge. We have literature, science, sports, words, and miscellaneous. And what's your choice to start us off?
Sports, please.
Let's go to the sports category for 30 points. Muhammad Ali is the first fighter to thrice win the world's heavyweight championship. He is also the first fighter to lose 3 heavyweight championship fights. For 10 points apiece, Lafarge, name the 3 boxers who beat him in championship fights.
Leon Spinks. Ken Norton. Joe Frazier.
I don't think Ken Norton beat him. He beat Ken Norton, I think. Larry Holmes would be the third. Frazier, Leon Spinks, and Larry Holmes. 20 points in that bonus. Teams, he had toyed with the idea of renting a helicopter and dumping thousands of pages of classified documents over downtown Los Angeles. But he finally decided to turn them over to the New York Times. For 10 points, who released these Pentagon Papers? That was Daniel Ellsberg. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. For 10 points, to which of his disciples was Jesus speaking when he said those words? Jurassic. Arcadia.
Judas Iscariot?
No, that's not right. Lafarge. Danes.
James.
He was speaking to Peter, Simon Peter, or Cephas. Teams, this twin-engine propeller plane has hauled more freight and carried more passengers than any aircraft. Jurassic. Arcadia.
DC-3?
That's good for 10 points, and a bonus for Arcadia.
We'll take science.
The science category, the first question is worth 20 points. Although the strong force is indeed the strongest of the 4 natural forces, it doesn't affect everything. For 10 points each, of protons, electrons, neutrons, photons, and neutrinos, which are the only 2 affected by it?
Neutrons and protons?
That's good for 20 points. Teams, Chairman Mao's revolutionary thoughts were condensed in his little red book. For 10 points, what current Libyan leader's revolutionary thoughts are summarized in his green book? Daines Lafarge.
Gaddafi.
That's good for 10 and a bonus.
Sports, please.
It's a 30-point question. Notre Dame football coach Lou Holtz has his work cut out for him, as 3 of his predecessors compiled winning records above 800. For 10 points each, name these 3 great Notre Dame coaches.
Newt Rockne, Ara Parseghian.
And Frank Leahy. 20 points. Teams, Dr. Thomas Walker discovered it near Middlesboro, Kentucky, and Daniel Boone's Wilderness Road led through it. For 10 points, what 2-word name Daines Lafarge?
Cumberland Gap.
That's correct.
Sports, please.
It's a 20-point question. The Celtics' Larry Bird was named NBA Most Valuable Player for 1986, his 3rd consecutive time as MVP. For 10 points each, what other 2 now retired NBA greats have equaled this feat?
Wilt Chamberlain. Bill Russell.
That's good for 20 points. For 10 points, teams name the 20th century novel that includes references to Tristram, Isolde, Vico, Adam, Jonathan Swift, and Finnegan. Angst, Arcadia.
Finnegan's Rainbow.
No, that's not correct. Lafarge. Daines.
The Hobbit.
No, Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce. Strange but true, teams. If you were to put it in water, this planet would float. For 10 points, which planet? Daines.
Pluto.
Pluto or Saturn. Correct for 10 points.
Sports, please.
Sports is a 30-point question. By winning the 1986 Sullivan Award, marathoner Joan Benoit Samuelson has become the 7th woman chosen as Best Amateur Athlete of the Year. For 10 points each, name any 3 of these 6 other women athletes.
Babe Didrikson. Mary Decker Slaney. Billy.
Decker is correct. Babe was not. Ann Curtis was another. Patricia McCormick, Wilma Rudolph, Debbie Meyer, Tracy Calkins, and, as you mentioned, Mary Decker. The Magna Carta was signed by King John in 1215, teams. The site of the signing was a famous meadow. For 10 points, name it. Runnymede. Runnymede. For a quick 10 points, what Washington, D.C. building would you be in if you were in Statuary Hall? Daines Lafarge.
The Capitol.
That's good for 10. And another bonus for Lafarge.
Sports, please.
The last time in the category, it's a 30-point potential. It didn't happen in 1986, but since 1970, 3 Division I college basketball teams have finished with perfect records, though only 2 won the NCAA championship. Now, for 10 points each, name these 3 colleges, not including now 1987. And I'll give you a hint. NC was on probation at the time.
Indiana, North Carolina State, North Carolina, Georgetown.
Indiana, North Carolina State, correct. The 3rd was UCLA. So we'll give you 20 points. Bear Bryant is no longer the winningest college football coach. For 10 points, what coach surpassed the Bear? Sunsala, Arcadia.
Andy Robinson.
At Grambling. That's good for 10 points and a bonus for Arcadia.
Science, please.
Science is a 20-point question. Before your first experiment in the chemistry lab, you have to know the basic vocabulary. For 10 points apiece, Arcadia, identify the solute in a salt water solution.
Salt.
The non-charged components in the nucleus of an atom.
Neutrons.
That's good for 20 points. Well, teams, I'm sure you've all written term papers, so you know that E period G period means, for example. Well, for 10 points, what does I period E period designate? Jurassic.
As in?
No, that's not correct. Lafarge. It stands for id est, which means that is. Okay, teams, here's a 10-point toss-up. He turned 93, that's 93 years old, in 1986, and was still going strong as a concert soloist, along with practicing 4 to 5 hours every day. For 10 points, who was the Spaniard who single-handedly popularized the guitar in the classical repertoire? I'm sure you've got some albums by him. Andre Segovia. We'll be back with our second half of High Quiz Bowl. We'll meet our teams and check on the score right after this break.
When the clock strikes 6:30, baby, turn to head for golden light. It's a good time for a great taste dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac tonight.
Big news, everybody! Now you can get a Big Mac at McDonald's for just 99 cents after 4 p.m. So make it a Big Mac tonight.
Did you know that nonprofit organizations can earn money for trips, uniforms, equipment, and more at Red and White? They can. By collecting the labels of quality Red and White brand products, participating Red and White grocers will pay 3 cents for each label collected and turned in. It's that easy. And those collecting labels will enjoy the high-quality Red and White brand products delivered. So register your nonprofit organization at a Red and White food store and start collecting today. The Red and White Label Redemption Program. It's money in the bank.
It's the final round of Gold Medal Closeout 87, only at Wagnalls Chevrolet. We're knocking out 1987 to make a winner. Offering the top line of all new 1988 Chevy trucks as low as $11,888, dependable S10 Blazers from $10,888, or hard-working S10 pickups starting at $73,888, and special factory incentives. The final round of 87 ends soon, so hurry. Go for it. Only at your Gold Medal Chevy dealer, Wagnalls Chevrolet.
Quite a quick game here for our first half, at least, here of our second game of High Quiz Bowl. Don, where do we stand score-wise?
Well, in the first half, Lafarge has taken a lead 140-60.
Okay, Don, we'll talk with you a little bit later on.
Okay.
And we'll step right over here now, pivot around, and speak with our squad from Arcadia. Mr. Schultz, you've all of a sudden appeared here. You're going to tell us a bit about your school.
Yeah. Arcadia lies in the fertile Trempealeau Valley, 45 miles north of La Crosse. We are proud of the beauty of the area, especially Skyline Drive. We are equally proud of the many honors our students achieve in academic areas. Over 2/3 of our students attend some type of institute of higher education. Our school competes in the Cooley Conference and is justly proud of its many trophies in athletics. Recently, Mr. Richard Fredrickson coached his 100th football victory. We have extremely active student council and service club. In addition, many other clubs and organizations give students the opportunity to experience a variety of interest areas. We would like to thank WKBT, St. Mary's College, Western Federal, McDonald's, Red and White Foods, and NSP for the opportunity to compete on this year's High Quiz Bowl.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Schultz. I know a lot of people think when they think of Arcadia, they think of chickens, right? Arcadia Friars. Any of your families involved in that particular operation?
Uncle.
Uncle is, huh? Okay, well, good for you. Well, good. Glad to have you, and the best of luck here in the second half. Okay, we'll pivot around here now, and we'll speak with our squad from Lafarge. And Mr. Daines is here to tell us a bit about his school.
Farge High School, nestled in the hills of the scenic Kickapoo Valley, serves Lafarge and its surrounding area by preparing its students for their plans after high school, whether it be college, vocational school, or going directly into the workforce. Lafarge High School strives to meet the needs of all students' academic studies in science, math, social studies, English, and a foreign language via the CTN network. It also offers a wide range of vocational program electives, including industrial arts, agriculture, home economics, music, business, and computer science. The FFA and FHA allow students to prepare themselves after high school by learning through community involvement. Annually, Lafarge sends students to state competition in music and forensics. In athletics, Lafarge is a member of the Ridge and Valley Conference and competes in 6 varsity sports. Although Lafarge has a high school enrollment of less than 100 students, its teacher-student ratio benefits the students and fosters a personalized learning experience that lasts a lifetime. Farge High School would like to thank St. Mary's College of Winona, High Quiz Bowl, and the other sponsors for the chance to compete.
Oh, very good, Mr. Daines. Tell me now, part of your squad was here last year to help get that one win on your belt. Who all were here last year, and who's new?
Well, it was me and Kurt were here last year, and he was the alternate.
I see, real good. And this gentleman here, you just picked him up on the way here. Okay, very good. Good luck to your team here in the second half.
Thank you.
We'll be back with the second half of High Quiz Bowl right after this break.
Hello, I'm Brother Louis DeThomases. As president of St. Mary's College in Winona, I want to take this opportunity to tell you how delighted we are to be sponsors of WKBT's High Quiz Bowl. We know that the students involved in this type of competition are concerned with excellence, as we are here at St. Mary's College. We hope that the scholarships that are provided by St. Mary's College will be of help to students in the region. Good luck to all of you.
If you're a local high school student considering college, we hope you'll take a look at St. Mary's. This year, we celebrate our 75th anniversary, and there are activities scheduled throughout the year. I'm Tony Piscatello, Vice President for Admission, inviting you to meet our admission counselors in your school this fall and to visit our magnificent campus here in Winona. Call us at 457-1-SMC. We'd love to hear from you.
We're back with our second half of High Quiz Bowl. Let's begin with our first 10-point toss-up. Mata Hari spied for the Germans, teams. Well, for 10 points, for whom did the beautiful Belle Boyd spy? Samsala, Arcadia.
France.
No. Lafarge. Jacobson.
Japan.
No, she spied for the Confederacy during the Civil War. Teams, the final complete, corrected, and amended edition of this notoriously typo-plagued classic was released in June 1986 as part of the annual Bloomsday celebration in Dublin. For 10 points, name this enigmatic 1922 novel. Written by James Joyce, Ulysses. It swims in a vertical position, teams, and has a grasping tail. For 10 points, name the fish. Samsala, Arcadia.
Seahorse.
That's good for 10 points. Let's go to our bonus categories. We have 4 to choose from here this second half. We have literature, science, words, and miscellaneous. We've all used up the sports category. What's your choice, Mr.
We'll take science.
Let's go to the science category for 30 points. The names of 5 chemical elements start with the letter M, as in mother. For 10 points each, name any 3 of those chemical elements.
Magnesium, manganese, and mercury.
That's good. Molybdenum, and mendelevium would also be acceptable, so we'll give you all 30 points. Here's a 10-point toss-up. In the summer of 1969, Arlo Guthrie reported that due to massive traffic jams, the New York Thruway is closed, man. He said this on Max Yasker's dairy farm during a certain music festival. Jacobson, Lafarge.
Woodstock.
Woodstock is absolutely correct. Max Yasker saying, I'm a farmer. I remember that.
Words, please.
Okay, let's go to the words for 20 points. Lafarge. The Pitti Palace in Florence is a famous architectural landmark. If you owned it, Lafarge, you'd be subject to PITI, the real estate acronym for the 4 major expenses in owning property. For 5 points each, what 4 words form PITI?
Property, income, taxation, and investment.
Taxes is correct. The other 3 are principal, interest, and insurance. The longer you can put that off, the better off you're going to be. That's good for 5 points. Here's a 10-point toss-up. The dictionary defines it as emotional or psychic energy derived from primitive biological urges, and usually goal-directed. For 10 points, did Freud call it id, ego, or libido? Danes, Lafarge.
Id.
No, that's not right. Arcadia, Jurassic.
Libido.
Libido is good for 10 points, and a bonus for Arcadia.
Miscellaneous.
It's a 20-point question. More than a year ago, a Texas jury ordered A to pay B an incredible $10.5 billion to settle their legal battle over a 1984 merger fight. Now, on appeal, A's judgment was reduced to a mere $8.5 billion. For 10 points each, who are A and B?
Texaco and Exxon.
Texaco is A, correct. B was Pennzoil. Pennzoil. That's good for 10 points. Teams, the luxury liner Queen Elizabeth II was called into service in the Falklands War. An even ritzier ship was more recently called in to evacuate foreigners trapped in war-torn South Yemen. For 10 points, name this ship, Britain's royal yacht. Jacobson Lafarge.
Queen Mary.
No, Arcadia. Britannia. It's called the Britannia. Vice President Aaron Burr slew the first Secretary of the Treasury back in 1804. For 10 points, what was his name? Angst, Arcadia.
Hamilton.
Alexander Hamilton is good for 10 points and a bonus.
Science, please.
The science category is worth 20 points this time about. Now let's test your knowledge of chemistry. You're going to score 10 points for each correct answer. Chlorides, bromides, fluorides, and iodides are similar names for common substances. For 10 points, what substance?
Oxygen.
They're all salts. The second part of the question. Under some conditions, such as ultraviolet light, oxygen forms a triatomic molecule whose name comes from the Greek for to smell. For 10 points, name it.
Hydroxide.
That's ozone. Shylock's servant and the chief of knights of the Round Table share a common name. For 10 points, teams, what is it? Jacobson Lafarge.
Camelot.
No, Arcadia. Lancelot. Lancelot. This branch of science deals with the chemical transformation of inorganic and organic compounds, thus forming a link between the living and non-living world. For 10 points, what branch? Jurassic. Arcadia.
Entomology.
No, Lafarge. Biochemistry. In September 1951, the United States guaranteed to protect this nation against any outside aggression, but the military alliance was abrogated in 1986 after the Reagan administration failed to persuade Prime Minister Lane to allow U.S. nuclear warships to dock there. For 10 points, what is this English-speaking nation? Danes, Lafarge.
The Philippines.
No, Arcadia. That would be New Zealand. New Zealand. It was the longest continuous stretch of railroad track in the world. For 10 points, what railway is it? Danes, Lafarge.
Pacific Northwestern.
No, Arcadia. Any idea? Jurassic.
Union Pacific.
No, it would be the Trans-Siberian Railway over in the USSR. Well, teams, the Beatles hailed from England. Well, for 10 points, tell me, where is U2 from? Jurassic, Arcadia.
Northern Ireland.
Can we accept that?
No, we can't.
We can't because it is Ireland, not Northern Ireland. We'll throw that one out and continue on with the next toss-up. The 8 petals of its Indian variety came to symbolize the noble eightfold path of the Buddha, while the narcotic qualities of its North African variety nearly entranced the crew of Ulysses, making them forget their homeland. For 10 points, name this flower celebrated in religion and mythology. Jacobson Lafarge.
Poppy.
No, Arcadia. Sonsala.
Coca.
No, the lotus. The lotus. Teams, it was designed to house government offices in Florence. The building, whose name means offices in Italian, now houses one of the world's greatest collections of art. For 10 points, name this leading museum. Jurassic, Arcadia.
The Louvre.
No, Lafarge. That would be the Uffizi Gallery. Teams, this great scientist who first proved that diamonds are made of carbon and that air is made of several gases, including oxygen, for 10 points was, who was this Frenchman? Angst, Arcadia.
Da Vinci.
No, Lafarge. Danes.
Pasteur.
No, Lavoisier. Lavoisier. Teams, in 1697, that's 1697, the French writer Charles Perrault published Conte de ma Mère Noire. That's the end of our game, as I mispronounced my French there. The Mother Goose Rhymes was our answer to that question. We'll be back to award our scholarships right after this break.
Instead of overlooking Wisconsin's medical commitment to quality, look again. From Gunderson Clinic to Marshfield to Madison as well as Milwaukee, leading-edge medicine in Wisconsin is not found in congested metropolitan centers, but located where it should be, next to where people live. We're proud to be a part of this fine tradition.
Students, how are you going to pay for your continued education? Western Federal Savings, your friend of the family, is your student loan headquarters. They have fast and easy loans for students who qualify. Western Federal can process your application very quickly, usually within 24 hours. Contact any of the Western Federal offices for details.
Western Federal Savings and Loan, a friend of the family.
You deserve some thank yous for making the effort to weather strip, for caulking and sealing windows, improving attic ventilation, and adding insulation, for buying energy-efficient heating and cooling equipment and appliances. For all the things you've done to help conserve energy, your great-grandchildren thank you. And so do we at NSP.
Well, Don, what was our final score?
Well, it was close at the end, but Lafarge won 155 to 130.
Now, we find ourselves in kind of a unique position, seeing as how this is only the second game of the season. We already have a three-time winner in Lafarge. This is because they won a game previous last season, which carries over, which makes them our first three-time winner here this season. Well, let's award our scholarships, Don, first of all to our squad from Arcadia.
Okay. John, pardon me, Kurt, I have two $500 scholarships to St. Mary's College for you or someone from your school. Thank you. Thank you.
And now here's our winning squad from Lafarge.
John, two $1,000 scholarships to anyone from your school, St. Mary's College.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Don, for another very fine game. We sure appreciate your help. Next week, we'll look forward to Kickapoo against St. Charles here on High Quiz Bowl. Will you be back with us?
Sure will.
Very good. We'll see you then. We'll see you then next week right here on High Quiz Bowl.
High Quiz Bowl has been brought to you by St. Mary's College of Winona, Minnesota, McDonald's of La Crosse, Prairie du Chien, Toma, and Decorah, Red and White Food Stores, NSP, and Western Federal Savings, your friend of the family.
WKBT La Crosse.
The sharpest minds of our area high schools in head-to-head competition. High Quiz Bowl is sponsored by St. Mary's College of Winona, Minnesota, your nearby Red and White Food Store, Western Federal Savings, NSP, and by McDonald's of La Crosse, Prairie du Chien, Toma, and Decorah.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you once again for inviting us into your homes for another edition of High Quiz Bowl. Tonight we begin our exciting playoff competition. We have 6 teams in the playoffs this season: Harmony, Lafarge, La Crosse Logan, Rochester Lourdes, Eau Claire Regis, and Toma. And tonight in our first playoff game, Harmony will take on Lafarge. Looking for a spot in our High Quiz Bowl playoff coming up. We call it our Super Bowl of High Quiz Bowl. That'll be a few weeks here down the road. Let's meet our teams playing this evening. First, our squad from Harmony.
John Ivers, sophomore.
Jeremy Plowman, senior. Alan Armstrong, sophomore. Nick Plowman, sophomore.
Alternates Julie Doherty and Brian Ralston, and Coach James Talbert. And here's our squad from Lafarge.
Oliphant, senior.
John Daines, senior. Kurt Jacobson, senior.
Trevor Campbell, senior.
Alternate Chris Zahn, Coach Maggie Doherty. And from St. Mary's College in Winona, Minnesota, he is our judge. His name is Jim Hansel. Jim, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Terry.
Glad to have you here for our first game of the playoffs.
Good
Always an exciting time. We'll get right into our first playoff game right after this short break.
There are lots of reasons to choose a college, but why choose a college if you don't expect to graduate? After all, students entering college are looking for a degree, and most hope to earn it in just 4 years. Fact is, many large universities graduate as few as 1/4 of their freshmen after 4 years. At St. Mary's College, our graduation percentages double many schools, even triple some. If getting a college degree in 4 years is important to you, consider St. Mary's College.
Instead of overlooking Wisconsin's medical commitment to quality, look again. From Gunderson Clinic to Marshfield to Madison as well as Milwaukee, leading-edge medicine in Wisconsin is not found in congested metropolitan centers, but located where it should be, next to where people live. We're proud to be a part of this fine tradition.
No down payment? That's right, folks. Right now we're selling cars and trucks with no down payment right here at Gunderson Truck and Auto World in Osseo. Can you believe walking right into our showroom and driving home an affordable car with no down payment? It doesn't happen every day, but right now through Monday, it's happening right here in Osseo. And with our huge selection of over 400 units to choose from, there's no reason for you to wait any longer. Remember, folks, no down payment now through Monday when you buy at Gunderson Truck and Auto World in Osseo.
Here we are in our first game of the High Quiz Bowl playoffs. I'd like to point out if our game should end in a tie at the end of regulation play, we play 1 minute of overtime where we simply ask toss-up questions. And also remember, please, our authority is College Bowl Incorporated. They're located in Studio City, California, but the decision of our judge here in the studio, Jim Hansel from St. Mary's College, will be final in any dispute. Let's begin our game. Teams, here's our first 10-point toss-up. If your little brother were about age 8, he could join the Cub Scouts. Now, if he were at least 11, he could join the Boy Scouts. For 10 points, what type of scout could he be if you were at least 14 years old or in high school? Danes, Lafarge.
Eagle Scout?
No, that's not correct. Harmony? Armstrong.
Explorer.
That is correct for 10 points for Harmony, and we'll go to our bonus categories. Biology, entertainment, U.S. presidents, words, and miscellaneous, all categories to choose from. Mr. Plowman?
We'll take U.S. President.
U.S. presidents is a 30-point question. Most of our presidents have been either Democrats or Republicans. However, 2 were Federalists and 4 were Whigs. For 5 points apiece, name these Whigs and Federalists.
Washington, Jefferson were Federalists. Adams was a Whig. And John Quincy Adams was a Whig. And Monroe was a Federalist.
That's going to do it, huh? Well, Judge, I'm going to have to ask you now. They said John Quincy Adams. I'll have to make you make your first decision here in the second question of the game.
I think we'll accept that.
All right, we'll accept that. George Washington, also correct, which you gave us. The other gentlemen, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, Zachary Taylor, and Millard Fillmore, so we can give you 10 points. Teams, Captain John Parker gave this order to his Minutemen. Stand your ground. Don't fire unless fired upon. But if they mean to have a war, let it begin here. For 10 points, in what Massachusetts town did he give the order? Jacobson, Lafarge.
Concord?
No. Harmony? Plowman?
Salem?
No. Lexington. Lexington Green. Teams, for 10 points, name the fictional sleuth with which you associate the authors Manfred Lee and Frederick Dene. Ellery Queen. For another 10 points, would you be more likely to be studying ants, squid, or gorillas if you were concerned with pentadactyl limbs? Armstrong, Harmony.
Squid.
No. Lafarge. Danes.
Ants.
Gorillas. Teams, on July 29th, 1987, Viktor Brukhanov was sentenced to 10 years in a Soviet labor camp. For 10 points, Mr. Brukhanov was the director of what facility? Jacobson, Lafarge.
Chernobyl.
That's 10 points for Lafarge and a bonus.
We'll take biology, please.
Biology is a 20-point question. It is ordinarily a viscous, translucent material holding fine granules in suspension within a membrane, capable of carrying on assimilation, excretion, circulation, locomotion, and reproduction. For 20 points, what is the 10-letter word that names this essential substance of the cells of plants and animals?
Diarobic nucleic acid.
That's got more than 10 letters. How about protoplasm? Protoplasm. Teams, Missouri is east, Colorado is west, Nebraska is north. And Oklahoma South, for 10 points, of what state? Ivers, Harmony.
Kansas.
That's right.
We'll take words.
Words it is, a 25-point question. It was always called crib death, but this mysterious killer of children, probably associated with breathing difficulties, is now called SIDS, or SIDS. For 25 points, what are the words for which those initials stand?
Sudden infant death syndrome?
That's 25 points. According to the Bible teams, he was born in Egypt to Amram and Jochebed, slave parents of the Levi tribe. For 10 points, name this great lawgiver from the Old Testament. Plowman, Harmony.
Moses?
That's 10 points.
We'll take miscellaneous.
It is a 20-point question. In Britain, the head of the government is a prime minister. In West Germany, a chancellor. And in Hungary, a premier. For 5 points each, what title is given to the head of government in first, Spain?
Generalissimo?
That's prime minister. How about Austria?
President?
That's chancellor. Poland?
Premier.
Correct. And Switzerland?
President.
That's correct. 10 points. Assuming that there's no deuce, for 10 points, teams, how many points win an official game of table tennis? Plowman, Harmony.
21.
That's right.
We'll take biology.
Biology is a 20-point question. There are many specialized study areas within biology. The study of protozoa is called protozoology. The study of fishes is ichthyology. And for 5 points apiece, state the name of these biological studies. The study of structure. That's anatomy or morphology. How about the study of function? That's physiology. The study of nomenclature and classification. That's taxonomy. And finally, the study of relationships among organisms and between organisms and their environment.
Sociology?
That's ecology. During the War of 1812, he fought the Creek Indians, and in 1815, Ivers, Harmony.
Andrew Jackson.
That's right.
We'll take U.S. presidents.
20 points. While this man was president, Chicago had its Great Fire, Alexander Graham Bell patented the telephone, and the whiskey ring was exposed. Name this president.
Grant?
Correct. Lady slipper, lady's thumb, lady smock, or lady finger. For 10 points, which of those ladies is not a plant? Plowman, Harmony.
Lady finger?
That's correct. It's a small cake.
We'll take miscellaneous.
It's a 20-point question. Let's pause here for a moment of silence to remember silence is past. For 20 points, how long was the famous erased gap on the White House Watergate tape?
Six seconds?
No, lots more than that. 18.5 minutes. That's a big gap. Okay, teams. He was born in St. Paul, Minnesota in 1896 and was named for Francis Scott Key. He emerged Jacobson Lafarge.
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
That's 10 points for Lafarge and also a bonus.
We'll take U.S. presidents, please.
It's a 25-point potential. President Jimmy Carter received only 49 electoral votes in his bid for re-election, the second worst drubbing of a sitting president. For 25 points, what other 20th century president received only 8 electoral votes in his bid for re-election? William Howard Taft in 1912. Listen to this list of 4 diseases: Rocky Mountain spotted fever, influenza, yellow fever, and that buzzer means we've reached the conclusion of our first half of High Quiz Bowl. We'll be back to talk with our teams right after this break.
Why would NSP give you a rebate just for buying new energy-efficient appliances? Because they conserve energy. And saving energy helps NSP postpone construction of costly new power plants. A new energy-efficient water heater, refrigerator freezer, Room or central air conditioner or heat pump will also make sizable savings on your electric bill. See an appliance dealer. Enjoy NSP rebates and energy cost savings every day.
Students, how are you going to pay for your continued education? Western Federal Savings, your friend of the family, is your student loan headquarters. They have fast and easy loans for students who qualify. Western Federal can process your application very quickly, usually within 24 hours. Contact any of the Western Federal offices for details.
Western Federal Savings and Loan, a friend of the family.
It's going on now at Holman Furniture and Sparta Furniture.
The 48-hour sale.
Every piece, item, and article of furniture is a whopping
48% off.
12 hours a day from 9 to 9 through Sunday. Save
48%
on bedroom furniture, living room, and dining room furniture.
48 hours. 48% off. A 48-hour sale.
It's going on now at Holman Furniture, Highway 53 Holman, and Sparta Furniture, Highway 27 North Sparta. Get there today.
Farge was this season's first three-time winner, and Harmony was our last three-time winner, so it's kind of appropriate they should be playing High Quiz Bowl this evening. What's our score, Judge?
At halftime, it's Harmony 125 and Lafarge 20.
Let's meet our teams then. We'll talk with you a little bit later on. We'll step over here now and speak to our squad from Harmony. And Miss Doherty is going to tell us a bit about her school.
Harmony High School only has an enrollment of 206 students, but this doesn't prevent us from having a top-notch school. Situated in the picturesque community of Harmony, Minnesota, our high school has the facilities, teaching, and administration needed to give the students a quality education which is needed in the future. Many extracurricular activities are offered, including football, volleyball, boys and girls golf, track, basketball, plus wrestling, baseball, softball, and cheerleading. Harmony has had a great deal of success in these athletic events, highlighted by a state championship in football in 1984. We also have a strong organization such as FHA, Student Council, National Honor Society, Band, SAD, Annual Staff, and Pop Choir. Our High Quiz Bowl team has been very successful, winning all 3 games thus far. In addition, this team took first place in our Region Rural Knowledge Bowl competition with 12 other teams. We are now headed for state competition. Once again, we'd like to thank everyone involved with making this show possible, and we hope to be invited back in the future.
Thank you, Miss Doherty. The best of luck to your squad here in the second half. And over here is a squad that hasn't been with us since the beginning of the season. How long now, Lafarge? Last time you were on was September, huh? Yeah, that's a long time. We're glad to have you with us here this evening. Mr. Zahn, tell us a bit about your school, please.
Lafarge High School, nestled in the hills of the scenic Kickapoo Valley, serves Lafarge and its surrounding area by preparing its students for their plans after high school, whether it be college, vocational school, or ongoing directly into the workforce. Lafarge High School strives to meet the needs of all its students' academic studies in science, math, social studies, English, and foreign language via the CTN network, and also offers a wide range of vocational program electives including industrial arts, agriculture, home economics, music, business, and computer science. The FFA and FHA allow students to prepare themselves after high school by learning through community involvement. This year, Lafarge has sent students to state competition in music, drama, and forensics. In athletics, Lafarge is a member of the Ridge and Valley Conference and competes in 7 varsity sports. Currently, our baseball squads hold a record of 3-0, and our softball is 2-1. Although Lafarge has a high school enrollment of less than 100 students, its teacher-student ratio benefits the students and fosters a personalized learning experience that lasts a lifetime. Lafarge High School would like to thank St. Mary's College, High Quiz Bowl, and the other sponsors for the chance to compete.
So, Mr. Zahn, what you're telling us is 4% of the schools here tonight. Right? Right. That's one way to look at it. Well, the best of luck to your team here in the second half. Thanks a lot for being with us. We'll be back with our first playoff game, second half, right after this break.
When you think about the special times in your life, what you probably remember most are the people. People who laughed with you, worked with you, shared with you. Every college has buildings, classrooms, a library, a place to eat. What makes St. Mary's College special is the people. They care, and that personal caring shows. Freshmen are individually counseled in selecting courses. Our freshman advising program has been nationally recognized. And St. Mary's offers a unique tutoring program, providing free, one-on-one learning in any subject to any student who wants it. St. Mary's College is special because our people are. St. Mary's College, celebrating 75 years of excellence.
Well, Jim, you ready for the second half?
I'm ready.
Let's get right at it between Harmony and Lafarge. Teams, for 10 points, name the dynamic rock star whose life was chronicled in the 1987 film biography, La Bamba. Danes, Lafarge.
Valens?
That's correct, Richie Valens. Almost lost it there, but you got it. Very good. We'll give you a bonus now. We have biology, entertainment, U.S. presidents, words, and miscellaneous. Mr. Danes, your choice.
We'll take biology, please.
Biology it is. It's a 30-point potential question. If you've got a disease with itis, I-T-I-S, at the end, something in your body is inflamed. For 10 points each, what organ is inflamed in each of these diseases? Pneumonitis or pneumonitis.
Tonsils?
That would be your lungs. How about nephritis?
Nose?
That's your kidneys. And finally, colitis.
Colon?
That's correct, 10 points. Pencil and paper perhaps on this one, teams. It's a question on continental drift. We may not feel the drift, but geologists have discovered that North America is gradually sliding westward, away from Europe, at the rate of 3 inches per year. Now, at that rate, for 10 points, how much wider is the Atlantic Ocean in 1988 than it was when Columbus sailed it in 1492? Armstrong, Harmony.
1,548 inches.
No, that's not correct. Lafarge? Jacobson.
1,491 inches.
No, that's not correct either. 1,488 inches, which is 124 feet. We have spent $2 billion on the greatest scientific gamble in history, and won. President Truman said this on August 7th, 1945. Ivers, Harmony.
The atomic bomb?
That's correct. The Manhattan Project. And a bonus for Harmony.
We'll take biology.
It's a 30-point potential. Hormones are important to the functioning of many systems in the human body. For 10 points each, what is the major production site of these hormones? Progesterone.
The ovaries.
That's right. Gastrin.
Stomach.
And glucagon.
Liver.
No, the pancreas, or the islands of Langerhans. 20 points. Well, teams, what one word completes this quotation from Shakespeare's King Lear? How sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless what? Ivers, Harmony.
Heart?
No. Lafarge? Jacobson.
Tongue?
No, to have a thankless child. Their first television show premiered in 1965 and featured the puppet Susie Moppet and Allie Alligator. For 10 points, name this married couple who later went on to host a syndicated show broadcast from Fort Mill, South Carolina. Danes, Lafarge.
Sid and Marty Croft?
No. Harmony? Armstrong.
The Bakers.
That's right. Jim and Tammy.
We'll take biology.
Final time in the category, it's worth 20 points. We couldn't, but there are organisms which thrive in the absence of free oxygen. Your score will grow by 10 points for each correct answer. What are these organisms called?
Anaerobic.
Right. And anaerobic organisms are often the cause of several nerve toxins found in improperly canned foods. What are these toxins called?
Botulism.
That's right. 20 points. Teams, the formula for calculating the volume of a certain geometric figure is pi r squared times h. For 10 points, what? Armstrong, Harmony.
Cylinder.
Right.
We'll take U.S. president.
25-point potential. States take pride in their citizens who went on to become president. But only one of the 50 states made boast of 2 native sons who served simultaneously as president. That's simultaneously as president. Now, for 15 points, name the state.
Virginia.
No, Kentucky. And now, for 10 points, name the 2 presidents who were both born in Kentucky.
Davis and Jackson.
Davis is correct. Lincoln is the other. Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis. Now, scoring-wise on that, Judge, do we give him 5 points?
I believe so.
No
Looks
points
like
then. You needed to have it all. We'll continue. The name's the same. A famous 15th century English ballad, a Maryland suburb of Washington, D.C., and a comedian who starred in the films Foul Play and Fletch. For 10 points, what's this two-word name? Jacobson Lafarge.
Chevy Chase.
That's right.
We'll take miscellaneous, please.
It's a 30-point question for Lafarge. Millions of Americans who had never given a hoot about the stock market suddenly started paying close attention to the news from Wall Street October of 1987. For 15 points apiece, which commercial or cable TV network has as its chief Wall Street correspondent Mike Jensen?
CNN.
That's NBC. And Lou Dobbs.
CNN.
That's CNN for 15 points. James Thomas Hardy wrote The Convergence of the Twain. For 10 points, what famous nautical event inspired him to write it? Jacobson Lafarge.
Merrimack versus the Monitor.
No. Harmony. Armstrong.
The sailing of the Claremont.
The sinking of the Titanic. For 10 points, what would you find painted on the dining room wall of the monastery of Santa Maria della Grazia in Milan, Italy? Daines Lafarge.
The Last Supper.
That's right.
We'll take miscellaneous, please.
It's a 20-point question. It is the combination of a lethal gas and a metal so unstable that it bursts into flame upon contact with water. Yet we frequently consume it, and when we swallow the blend, it forms hydrochloric acid in our stomachs. For 20 points, name this substance required to maintain human life.
Salt.
That's right, salt. Many famous statesmen have won Nobel Peace Prizes. For 10 points, what British statesman won a Nobel Prize for literature? Daines Lafarge.
Winston Churchill.
That's right.
We'll take miscellaneous again, please.
Final time in the category, a 30-point question. During the great period of emigration to America in the 19th century, 2 European provinces, both now independent nations, each lost about 1/4 of its population to the United States. For 15 points each, name these 2 depopulated nations.
Ireland and Germany.
Ireland and Norway. 15 points. Formed by glaciers making their way to the sea, hundreds of these narrow, steep-sided inlets are found. Armstrong, Harmony.
Fjords.
That's correct for 10, and a bonus.
We'll take entertainment.
Entertainment is a question which is worth 25 points. Villains are often the most memorable of characters. For 5 points each, identify the animated Disney films which feature these villains and villainesses. Captain Hook.
Peter Pan.
The evil fairy, Maleficent.
Sleeping Beauty.
Cruella de Vil.
101 Dalmatians.
The wicked stepmother.
Cinderella.
The man-eating tiger, Shere Khan.
Jungle Book.
That's all 25 points. This legal term, teams, refers to any wrong which can be remedied by civil action, except breach of contract. This includes trespassing, libel, and acts which result. Jacobson Lafarge.
Tort.
Tort is correct. 10 points, and that means our game is over. We'll be back to check on our score and give out our final congratulations to our winning team right after this break.
Monopoly is back at McDonald's. And oh golly, this is the year to play. People all over will win instantly from over $50 million worth of cash and prizes. More than ever before. Win shopping sprees, vacations, a Coca-Cola. Oh, tasty. Or maybe one of 500 all-new Oldsmobile Cutlass Supremes. Wow. So do not pass go. Go directly to McDonald's. Play Monopoly.
Did you know that nonprofit organizations can earn money for trips, uniforms, equipment, and more at Red and White? They can. By collecting the labels of quality Red and White brand products, participating Red and White grocers will pay 3 cents for each label collected and turned in. It's that easy. And those collecting labels will enjoy the high-quality Red and White brand products delivered. So register your nonprofit organization at a Red and White food store and start collecting today. The Red and White Label Redemption Program. It's money in the bank.
Well, Jim, our first playoff game is in the record books.
It's history. Book show. Right. Harmony, 230, and Lafarge, 130.
Well, let's award, let's invite our captains, I should say, over for a bit of congratulations. First, our squad from Lafarge.
Congratulations on a good season, and good luck in the future.
And from Harmony.
Congratulations to you, too, and good luck in the finals.
Well, Jim, now this is the way everything shows up here in terms of our playoff picture. We now have a winner in Harmony. They will advance in the playoff situation. Next week, Lacrosse Logan will play Rochester Lourdes in another playoff game.
That should be a good game.
That should be an excellent game. And then the final week, or I should say the following week after that, Eau Claire Regis will play Toma. So at this point, we know Harmony is continuing on in the playoffs. Lacrosse Logan, Rochester Lourdes, that team, and then Eau Claire Regis and Toma will play. And the winner of that game then, those three will all be put into a pot. And from that pot, we will determine who will get a bye, who will automatically be in the Super Bowl coming up here in a few weeks. And then the other two teams will play in our second round action, which will determine the other team to pair off in that Super Bowl High Quiz Bowl game.
We've got some good games ahead of us.
We sure indeed do. So we hope that everybody will come on back and join us again next week right here on WKBT Television 8. Take care.
High Quiz Bowl has been brought to you by St. Mary's College of Winona, Minnesota, McDonald's of La Crosse, Prairie du Chien, Toma, and Decorah, Red and White Food Stores.
I'm the operator with my pocket calculator. I'm the operator with my pocket calculator.
Action 8.
I am adding and subtracting. I'm controlling and composing. I'm the operator with my pocket calculator. I'm the operator with my pocket calculator. I am adding and subtracting. I'm controlling and composing. By pressing down a special key, it plays a little melody. By pressing down a special key, it plays a little melody.